what I loved when I visited you back then in your awesome apartment, penthouse style in Berlin, which was your office as well. And you always had like 1,000 interns around, and they were working for minimum wage. And just to clarify, you're not a bad person that lets people work for minimum wage. But in Germany, as student, you usually have to have some practical experience in a workplace for a certain amount of time. Usually it's a shorter period. And you definitely have been taking good advantage of the system. Anyways,
Actually, to this, I would say that most other companies, like in my lifestyle field, don't pay
yeah,
them anything.
all right.
Actually, you don't have to pay them anything from this field, as you said.
All right. Okay, even better. But let me know how that went. Like, what have been your good experiences? What were your bad experiences? Because
Yeah,
this
as
is
I
quite
work like
unique
in
and can be really helpful if you're starting out your business and you just do the official registration. And in a sense, you can consider it as governmental funding.
of course. The thing is, as you said, like they need to do it for their studyship and the area lifestyle, branding, fashion, where I work from, that the people are really good because, they work for their passion and they don't work for the money. So you get, I always got people like them that studied fashion management because,
Hmm.
you can give them like cool stuff and they have cool work to do. They would do it without lots of money and it will be still very good because it's all very smart people. They just like follow more their passion than follow like the money. So it's not every company can do it. You need to have like something that's worth more than money, I would say. Like I always brought my interns also to events or give them like free products from clients and stuff. So even if it's like this, you still need to give them something. It's not like you get just free workers who are your slaves, but it's like giving and taking.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it always should be. And are you still working with this concept nowadays that you don't have a physical location as much anymore, or staying in Berlin and having your physical office there, but you also live in Zurich? But I don't know what your exact setup is these days, and I would like to know how you handle it in terms of managing your employees.
The setup changed. Everything, and there's like no real office anymore. It's like everything online. The employees are not in Berlin anymore. I always just have one here because I still have the most clients here, and the others employees are all over the world. Most of the time, I start with them being an intern who does their studies, and if I like them, I keep them as freelancers. So, but now they're all over the world. So, one in Peru, one in Austria, one in the US. So, yeah.
All right. And how do you go about finding good employees?
As I said, I get the most of, I haven't said before, Fashion United is the platform where you get the fashion
Mm.
students. And most of the time I get them and they start as an intern. And yeah, I keep them. If I like them, I keep them longer as a freelancer. So for them, it's perfect. They have either they keep on studying or they do traveling or they start a new job. But most of them liked it, like to have just some extra money on the side where they know the person. So it was like, it's going pretty well that way.
And they start off as a paid intern?
Yeah, they start as a paid intern.
Okay. And when they work remote, how do you control their work? Do they work by hour or do they work by task or do they have a fixed salary?
They work by hour, and as I know how they work, I can say how fast they work, and if they would like to, I would recognize just because, as I said, I know them at least 3 months before they start like working as real employees. So yeah, I wouldn't
Mm.
work with them if I wouldn't think I would trust them, and I don't want to like sometimes tasks you have like problems, the client changes its mind. And then you can't say, hey, you have to make it all again, and they're not paying for them. So I prefer to work via hours.
Yeah, I do the same. And it's kind of you stack up the trust, and this gives the opportunity to raise the salary as well. If
Yeah.
they over deliver, they provide more value to the company, so they get paid more.
Yeah, absolutely. I said one, and she said, "No, I want to have like €5 more." And I said, "Okay, if you can do everything in 2 hours faster," then she said, "Like no problem."
Yeah, I
But yeah,
agree.
I have to say, like it doesn't work like this. I say it doesn't really work if people say I can do it in faster time, but I found out that what you get is less quality, and if you
Mm.
always work and stress, the quality is like not the same. So I said, "No, okay." Then I would just say, okay, one time it's okay, but if they say, okay, now I'm like double fast, so I'd say, okay, it's enough, then the quality will be like shitty and you can't concentrate and your whole life will will become a little bit less if you do this, because like some of them I think like they have like 5 jobs, and I think, okay, I can get more money if I get faster and faster, and after 6 months you can really feel that their brain is not doing anything anymore. So
Yeah, the way I solve this problem, at least for now it's working, is I get daily reports, and then I have them structured in categories, and I have
yeah,
them mark how long they work on each category,
yeah,
and everything I outsource is something I have an idea of. So in this way I can control, okay, if it's going well or not. And usually I build support teams. So usually I have not only one person working in one section, I have at
yeah,
least 2 people, and then I have a manager between me and the individual employees.
yeah.
Anyways, you moved to Zurich, and I know that you always loved it, and I lived there back in the day. It's a beautiful place. So, why did you move to Zurich? And yeah, like congrats that you can pay for Zurich. So tell me a little bit about it.
Whereas I always wanted to move there because I like the beauty of Switzerland. I like the people, that they're like close to nature, that they're like really open. And most people say no, Swiss people are not open. But I have to say, I have never moved to one city where people welcome me that well. And I actually I didn't know anybody when I moved there. But like I think like now after 1 year, I have a bigger friends group than in Berlin, actually, because people are so open, so helpful. If you say I'm new, they invite you everywhere because they say I want to help you. And yes, yeah, and of course, like I wanted to a little bit leave Germany because I'm not really a big fan of the politics as it's going right now. So before it's too late, I thought like to put a step on a better place is 1 year ago was like the right time for me, and yeah, everything is going perfect. But as you say, okay, the prices are crazy, but you adapt.
Yeah,
If you need more
definitely.
money, you somehow get more money. I think we also talked about it like some years ago.
Yeah,
Just
like
live more expensive, then you somehow get more money because you have to.
I think that's what everyone in New York tells. But then you just like live for the hustle. So I think it's always about finding a balance. But yeah, like the way I think about it, there are always some interesting side hustles. And if you surround yourself with the right people, I mean, they manage it as well. So if you surround yourself with that people and you help them out, they're
Absolutely.
willing to help you out, and so like business opportunities unfold themselves as well. So it's a helpful move to stay in prestige locations alone for networking purposes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I don't
And
think it's living for the hustle because I learned more smart work than hard work. So so less hustle and more money is the goal.
so yeah, and how, tell me a little bit more about it. Like how did it change your mindset and your actions, and how you prioritize things and so on?
In the beginning, when I started my business, I was taking like every client who wanted to work with me. Some clients are really like super stressful and they take your energy. And I realized that if you want to make more money, you need to push like those stressful clients away and just work with the nice ones that pay you well. So yeah, this was like my main thing. My work changed as saying no to a lot of people. Yeah,
Yeah, I would call it mental taxation.
maybe that's the right word. Absolutely not anymore. I think in every area of your life, you should learn not to be a pleaser.
Yeah, yeah. Just had this conversation with an employee of mine, and she's nice, and I always told her like she's too nice, she's too forthcoming. Like she can handle that, but she won't be able to handle that forever. And now she's working a lot, and in this section we have more people, but it's still the transition period. So she's working for 2 people at the moment, and
Yeah.
by now allowing some people to mentally tax her more, she's feeling the regret on not have been more strict in the beginning.
Yeah, but people should not have regret. You could just do better the next day.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say like mental regret, but she's feeling it physically in terms of stress. It's
Yeah,
the same with relationships, even romantic relationships. If like once in the beginning you have your setup, this is how the relationship is gonna be, and to then change it at one point suddenly is gonna be really difficult.
absolutely. But maybe sometimes you first have to feel the stress to recognize that you need to change something. So maybe like it's her turning point.
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
rest of
So
hopefully.
yeah, definitely. Usually a challenge is always a good thing. And
Yeah.
the business, like now that you live in Zurich, did your business registered in Switzerland as well?
The business is still registered just in Germany because like I'm still saying like I don't know what's the words. It's everything on my name, and this is like the only thing where you don't pay much taxes. It's also maybe a hack in
Yeah, yeah.
Germany. So actually, I don't pay more taxes than I would pay in Switzerland. And to finally change everything, like I have to make like a new driver's license and have to get a new help and wanted to wait like if it works well for
Mhm.
1 year. And yeah, but my next step will be like to change the complete citizenship. But you can live in Switzerland and make money from all over the world, and you don't have like to live there. Of course, it's good, but if you have a solo selbstständig like I am, you don't have to do it super fast if you want to save a lot of taxes.
What I can still remember is the allowance to live there for long term won't be given out that easily. How did you handle that in your case?
I have to say, I could start it like whenever I want. You just need to have like 5 international clients, and you can
Mm.
show that you can like have to pay that you are able to pay your rent. If you can
Mhm.
do that, then it's super easy. But it's hard
All
like
right.
if you're not self-employed to go there. But if you're self-employed and you have the money either way, it's no problem. So this is the thing
Okay.
about Swiss. If you have
So
money, you're welcome super easy.
okay, and like, do you know the exact number? Like, is it like you have to have X amount in your bank account, or how does it go?
I think it has to be like in Germany, you have to hear the needs to be like 3 times of the rent you pay.
Mhm.
So I would say like okay, the rent is expensive. I would say like 10K around.
Okay, all right. It's actually not that crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it would be more strict. Okay, then like maybe it's about the citizenship.
You get after you're allowed to live there
Mhm.
and you're officially you're living there, you need to live there 10 years and then you can get
Mhm.
the citizenship.
All right, all right. Okay, not too difficult.
No, it's not so difficult. You know, people always say, "Oh, you can do it. It's hard." But in the end, if you really look at it, most of the things are easy.
Yeah, like I did it in my memory, and people said like, oh, it's so difficult like to move over there when you're German. And like some people went there like for holiday jobs or so, but they could stay there for long term. But for me, it like was totally different because my girlfriend lived there back in the day, and I was only going there for a visit once in a while. And like the longest I've been in Switzerland was a few months in a row, and I never thought about moving there permanently.
Yeah.
So all those things never came to question. But yeah, I can definitely confirm what you said. Like what I beautiful about Switzerland is the mind of the people. It's the abundance mindset. So like people, just because people are not thriving, people are thriving so well, and they're just not fighting every day just to survive. For example, you just go to the forest and you have like this like proper fireplace there, like for $500 or so. Like in Germany, if it would be there for one day, it would be stolen already. Or if
I
you
would
like,
not say that there are not people who fight for their lives. There are a lot of them.
really?
In Zurich, there are a lot of. I would say like Zurich is also like full of parasites.
All right. Or like you mean
So
like what do you mean with parasites? You mean like gold diggers also, like people that take like social advantage?
yeah, because you get so much non-employed money there. A lot of people
Mm.
like just do it. I know.
Okay.
I don't even know people can get 12,000 euro or Swiss francs for being unemployed for 2 years, which is
All
like
right. All right.
crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And you have like the same like in the US, like people who don't have the citizenship and don't really have money, and they somehow survive through I don't know what they're doing. Shady business. There's our lots of people like this. Yeah, we call them parasites. It's not like outside it looks like a perfect world, Zurich, but from the inside it's actually not.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, like what I have in mind are like those fields and so on, and they have like the most beautiful sunflowers and all the kinds of colorful flowers there, and you can just pick them, and then you can donate money, and like people will really donate money. They will not just like steal the flowers for free.
But that's not true. But would you say Germans would also do it?
Yeah, like Germans, like depending like in which city you live, but
In Berlin,
like
they do. People don't have
yeah,
money here, but they are social.
in Berlin, you mean like they would throw in the money?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay, I think it depends like which district and
I
so
would say
on.
in Frankfurt, not maybe.
Like I think in Frankfurt, whether or not. Anyways, tell me a little bit more about like your business because like we haven't spoken in so long, and I would like to know a little bit more about how your business evolved and maybe find some interesting questions there to get some more value nuggets out of you.
I would say the business is pretty the same. So full service marketing for new upcoming brands or for old brands who want to go into online marketing. Also like because like in Switzerland, people are in online marketing or the brands or the marketing seal, I would say it's 10 years behind Berlin. So I need to start there where I have been like 10 years ago. So it's pretty much the same. Also social media, even though social media changed a little bit. Oh yes, but actually it's just like finding strategies, planning shootings, planning events, doing performance marketing. From the thing is the same, but of course like the different sections involved in themselves, but the sections stayed the same.
And you also work as a model. I know that you work in commercial, but you work in fashion as well, right?
Yeah, I work in fashion as well. I did it like since I was a young student, and it's always still for my work now a good opportunity to meet new people, to meet new brands. So it's the perfect thing to get new clients to do the modeling stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
side. Yeah, that's why I keep on going it, and also because I have fun being in front of the camera.
Yeah, exactly. I see it the same. And like besides the offers you get, they're usually either really well paid and they don't come often, or you don't get chosen, but it's paid so well that you say, okay, that's fine. And there are other offers which aren't paid that well, but
Yeah,
they get paid like you just described, for example, over networking.
absolutely. And I don't get paid my maybe like super much for my job, but I get paid when I have them like as a client for 5 years. So it's much better than having the one big job. So yeah, as you say, I also like take like smaller jobs.
And did your business develop out of modeling in a sense as well? Your business success and the connections you formed
I would say
through modeling?
it was a part of it. Yeah, it was a big part of it. I also worked in nightlife, which was like the second part of it. But the most important thing is like when you're young, you should do as much networking in the area you want to work with, and it's like absolutely the best. So yeah, it started from modeling, going out with like cool people, whatever cool means. So yeah, was a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Berlin scene is always really interesting, especially in the fashion sense. I remember like many
Which
years
scene is
back,
interesting? Sorry, I didn't hear.
the Berlin.
I have to say, like my business contacts, I studied in Hamburg. I
Yeah.
like more from there, my business wise, where I set up my, of course, also Berlin, but like I would say, like the more important client network I made in Hamburg.
Okay. And do you still spend a lot of time in Hamburg, or is it just because you lived there back in the day before you moved to Berlin?
Yeah, I think it was a timing thing. When I studied there, the whole lifestyle fashion scene was there because like Berlin was still like a piece of shit, let's say it like this. The very dirty, still no
Yeah, a little
businesses
bit more
there.
edgy.
Yeah. And but now, like, I mean, it was 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, since I stopped my studies. And then it was like a different time in Hamburg. And but now the more growing that were for bigger brands, I got to know in Hamburg. But now I have to say most of them live in Berlin.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I heard of other people that work in the
Yeah.
industry. And especially the German fashion is shaped by what's happening in Berlin these days. And if you want to work in the field, usually to live in Berlin is the first station. Would you confirm that?
For fashion, absolutely. Fashion is like, no, yeah, slowly Düsseldorf is coming. And you really have to say that like fashion and it was growing a little bit before the Corona times, but now fashion in Berlin is like really, you can't really call it a scene anymore. It's like more like a hobby place for fashion, but let's hope that it will become better in the next years. Even the
All right.
fashion week is almost dead. Yeah.
How would you describe the development? Because I know that you go to the fashion weeks, like you even walk on the fashion weeks, and like I haven't lived in Berlin like you did. Like I always have been there only for a few months here and there, and in the last years I've not been in Berlin at all, really. But you're the perfect insider.
The fashion week totally changed. I would say like 15 years ago, it was like super cool. There was like, sorry, here's a dog
fight. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was a different one, but okay, the dog fight is over. 1 second. Sorry for the dog fight. So the Fashion Week in Berlin like completely changed. I think it started really like 15 years ago, and in the beginning it was the hope of all like when we were fashion students to be like as cool as like Milano or Paris, and it was really like that. We had like amazing, really cool events, big names, Kevin Klein, Hugo Boss, and biggest parties. Yeah, but then the most stupid thing of the Berlin fashion scene and the fashion week was that they put it the same time as Paris. And of course, also that all the Germans who had like something to say in fashion preferred to go to Paris. So it killed themselves that way. And then of course, the Corona times when all the fashion, when the retail was dying because nobody could pay rent anymore. Of course, like fashion was of course dying. And now somehow, but they still like are really like fighting to get back into like really to have the possibilities to work out their creativity.
Okay, so the pan not like what it used to be at least 5 years ago when I was there the last time, 5, 6 years ago. I think were actually quite good. Like they had this like themes and they had amazing locations. But would you say like it was even better before?
5 years it was much better. Nowadays, like they have to save everything, and like maybe the parties are much smaller, and it's not that. Yeah, of course, the cool thing about party about getting free stuff, free drinks, it's not like that anymore. The parties are like really just press invited, like best clients are invited, and it's like more a sales event than a real party. It has again, it's more a sales event, not a party anymore. But which is okay because they need to fill their pockets. They need to survive. Before, like the fashion week was like celebrating the success, and now you need it like because you needed to survive.
And do you still go out in Berlin? Do you are still connected with the party scene?
When I go there, I mostly go for business events, like to, for example, like yesterday to a musical premiere, like to stay in touch with the press because I always work with press also, or I go like to client events. I don't go like to like, clubs anymore. Like no more Berghain.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Maybe once a year if like somebody good friend of mine, but I'm not keen to
Like
go to parties when I'm here. I'm mostly like to do business.
when I was asking you, maybe then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like definitely I felt it when I was living in Berlin. Like I had more like of this like tour things, like yeah, we're going to Berghain, and I noticed people from the co-working space, and those people like they were working hard like every day from like Monday till Saturday even, and then Sunday because you could just go out at daytime like so you just like had some work in the morning or so, and then like had lunch together, and then you went to Berghain, and then like maybe before midnight even you went home and you had an amazing party because like in the time doesn't exist. So that's what I always loved about Berlin, that you can go out at daytime and you can have the same experience, the same intensity like you would have with an all-nighter party. And at a like comparable party we met at as well, we met at Heideklin, and it's also a daytime event, but it's like it was like a circus. It's really colorful. You really outgoing people there. People are dressed really crazy, and it's an expressive mindset. This is like actually one thing about Berlin I always have to think back on. If you compare the party scenes, like there's no party scene will like Berlin.
Yeah, I would say it also changed a little bit. I would say the party scene in Zurich is better.
Interesting.
In Berlin you can just go out right now. I would say like actually just Saturday and Sunday if you want to do something cool. Over the week
Yeah.
there's like really nothing to do anymore.
Yeah,
And yeah,
usually you could go every day, like
yeah,
anytime, like if it's just like Wednesday noon and you're like, I feel like, ah, okay, like I'm overworked. Let's just like go dance a
yeah,
little and let's go to a good party. That was possible 5 years ago.
absolutely. And after this also has completely changed from Corona. Like
Huh.
it's also like the clubbing scene has really, so of course, like big names, Kevin Klein, Hugo Boss, and biggest parties. Yeah, but then the most stupid thing of the Berlin fashion scene and the fashion week was that they put it the same time as Paris. And of course, also that all the Germans who had like something to say in fashion preferred to go to Paris. So it killed themselves that way. And then of course, the Corona times when all the fashion, when the retail was dying because nobody could pay rent anymore. Of course, like fashion was of course dying. And now somehow, but they still like are really like fighting to get back into like really to have the possibilities to work out their creativity.
Okay, so the not like what it used to be at least 5 years ago when I was there the last time, 5, 6 years ago. I think were actually quite good. Like they had this like themes and they had amazing locations. But would you say like it was even better before?
5 years it was much better. Nowadays, like they have to save everything, and like maybe the parties are much smaller, and it's not that. Yeah, of course, the cool thing about party about getting free stuff, free drinks, it's not like that anymore. The parties are like really just press invited, like best clients are invited, and it's like more a sales event than a real party. It's more a sales event, not a party anymore, but which is okay because they need to fill their pockets. They need to survive. Before, like the fashion week was like celebrating the success, and now you need it like because you needed to survive.
And do you still go out in Berlin? Are you still connected with the party scene?
When I go there, I mostly go for business events, like for example, like yesterday to a musical premiere, like to stay in touch with the press because I always work with press also, or I go like to client events. I don't go like to like, clubs anymore. Like no more Berghain.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Maybe once a year if like somebody good friend of mine, but I'm not keen to
like
go to parties when I'm here. I'm mostly like to do business.
when I was asking you, maybe then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like definitely I felt it when I was living in Berlin. Like I had more like of this like tour things, like yeah, we're going to Berghain, and I noticed people from the co-working space, and those people like they were working hard like every day from like Monday till Saturday even, and then Sunday because you could just go out at daytime, like so you just like had some work in the morning or so, and then like had lunch together, and then you went to Berghain, and then like maybe before midnight even you went home and you had an amazing party because like in the time doesn't exist. So that's what I always loved about Berlin, that you can go out at daytime and you can have the same experience, the same intensity like you would have with an all-nighter party. And at a like comparable party we met at as well, we met at Heidegger. It's also a daytime event, but it's like it was like a circus. It's really colorful. You really outgoing people there. People are dressed really crazy, and it's an expressive mindset. This is like actually one thing about Berlin I always have to think back on. If you compare the party scenes, like there's no party scene will like Berlin.
Yeah, I would say it also changed a little bit. But I would say the party scene in Zurich is better.
Interesting.
In Berlin, you can just go out right now. I would say like actually just Saturday and Sunday if you want to do something cool. Over the week, there's like really nothing to do anymore.
Yeah,
And
usually you could go every day, like anytime, like if it's just like Wednesday noon and you're like, I feel like, okay, like I'm overworked. Let's just like go dance a little, and let's go to a good party. That was possible 5 years ago.
Absolutely. And after this also has completely changed from Corona. Like it's also like the clubbing scene has really, so of course, like the big names survived somehow, but you can't go out on Tuesday anymore. But people also don't have money because like it's the only thing where people have money left in Europe. So all the cool DJs are coming to Zurich right now. It's really if you're in Zurich and like Solomon or kind of music are playing, they say, oh no, he played yesterday. I don't want to go again. And so
yeah, like they can definitely afford the best acts.
the whole scene somehow moved to Zurich. All the cool DJs are in Zurich now.
Yeah, this was even like before. I think when I lived in Zurich, this was whether 6, 7 years or so ago, and there it was arriving the techno scene. So like you had the best acts booked there, but the people still didn't adapt yet. Were the mostly locals still that lived there, and they were all a bit stiff if you compare them to people that go party in Berlin. So you really had to go to the right venues.
People are now crazy. They are not like just stiff Swiss people. It's like the raves are there pretty much going on. It's in huge halls and like everybody's crazy dancing. Yeah.
All right.
You should come by. You have to see it. It's not far from Frankfurt.
It's actually not too far. I consider that because like the most beautiful nature I've ever experienced is actually in Switzerland.
That's what I also would say. Like even like not like in New Zealand, Australia, or nowhere. I never So nature is there.
Yeah, okay, like have you been to New Zealand?
Yes,
And you would say still Switzerland?
I would still say Switzerland.
All right, all right.
I
Like
was in Switzerland actually.
I'll confirm that. Yeah, like actually I did fall in love with Brazil. Like I spent the winter in Rio and I'm gonna go there the next season again and just like go to different places. Like I stayed in Rio mostly. I haven't stayed for Carnival, so I definitely want to go for Carnival. That's
Yeah.
the event to be. And like the people in Brazil, they have like a really bright attitude, and I love that they're like really sporty, really fit, and the people really are conscious in terms of which lifestyle they have, which food they consume, and so on. So it's like you like when you go to the beach and like you actually like in top form, and then you see people and you thought like okay I'm peak form right now, and then you see all the other people and it's like wow, this is amazing. This is like crazier like than like a model event where people like really stuff their ass off for and like they looking chiseled as fuck. So this is like about this I was really surprised, but this is like what people know about Rio and like what people hear about the Copacabana. But nowadays you go more at least the nice districts, Ipanema
Yeah.
and Leblon, and there it's really different. It's like the high society, and it's a lot of internationals coming there as well, and it actually got quite pricey as well, which I prefer because it then attracts different people, like what you're talking about with Zurich. So if you want to have like a really good life in with a nice place and going out, good food and all that stuff, you might need to spend like up to $5,000 or so a month even.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of what means a lot. Some of my friends in Zurich, they live halfway and they do their business also like in Brazil, Rio, and they also say the same as you do. I just feel I just found like that the men there do too much plastic surgery. What would you say? I mean, of course, women all do, but
So maybe they weren't all chiseled. It was just a plastic surgery. And
but sometimes
otherwise,
I have my friends have their
yeah.
friends from Rio, and they're like all the guys have like more fillers in their face than all the women I know, and it's all the guys from Rio.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, I stay away from all that shit. I think I can stay away for it for a long time because I do all the biohacking things. Like I already did some things back in the day, but nowadays like I do everything. Like maybe you know this guy Brian Johnson.
Just like I think I know him, of course.
Yeah, like
Longevity
longevity
theme is also
athlete.
like super
Yeah,
big in it's longevity week in Berlin this week actually. The whole week is
interesting.
everything about longevity.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I do all those kinds of things.
But he doesn't look young. I would say he looks older than he is.
Yeah, like the bad thing is like people say like yeah, this guy spends millions of dollars and has all those plastic surgeries just to look like a middle-aged lady.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not
But
also it's not like everything is just looks. Maybe he feels like super energized.
this
This is
is what I
also
was
part.
about to say. This is why I'm doing it. So like fuck the looks, doesn't matter. Like I have good baby face genetics anyways. I'm not too concerned about that. Especially as a man, I think you don't have to be too concerned. But I do it because of how I feel. I never felt more clear and never felt more energized than when I stick to those routines. And it's not only in the long term, it's also in the short term. Like for example, if you get just like this all the bright light from the sun in the morning for a few minutes into your eyes, you feel it direct in your hormones. You feel like this little dopamine push, and it's like way easier to get your day started like this.
Well, yeah, if you live in Berlin, you can't start your day with this because there is no sun. You can
That's true.
you can look up to.
There's this like gray shadow over Berlin.
Yeah, but yeah, of course. What's another biohack you would recommend me to do? I take like NMN, omega-3. You told me like some years ago, and I never forgot it. And I even always when I'm at the pharmacy, I buy it new. And do you
Yeah,
have a
like
new biohack for me?
yeah, I can send you like my whole supplement list, but it's like
That'd be
it's
cool.
like it's like up to 50 supplements or so, but you can get back to me like really. But you can like a lot of supplements are not high cost, and they are really influential in terms of the effect they have. And like some are really high cost, but I would say they're still worth it. Like for example, omega-3 isn't cheap, but it has such a good impact. And like even like the amounts most people take of omega-3, it's like too little. Usually they have to take more, and it will fix so much in your body because like omega-3 is the effective component against inflammations.
Yeah.
So like everything that's like not working in your body is usually some form of inflammation.
Absolutely. And you told me to take it. I really could feel it, like that is like really good for my body.
Yeah, like I would say like I do a little bit of everything. Like start with things like most things, like I said, often things are even free. It's just like behavioral things. It's like and things that are like not necessarily pleasant sometimes can be things like ice baths, or can be like even like the opposite, taking like a really hot bath. And then it can be like doing like your workout in all like the different cardio zones, or even if it's just like walking more. And like in the long term you feel the effect, in the short term you feel the effect, like the uplift in mood. But it can be also more special things like red light therapy. So like this is like near infrared light, and it actually goes like deep into your skin and actually goes through your skin straight to the so like just with lights you can have
A light
influence on
mask,
a
of course.
cellular level.
I have a red light mask.
Yeah. And like for example, like there's like the number one thing for beauty, for example, red light thing, you're talking about the mask. But like even like in sports, like originally that's where it came from. It came from pro athletes, and I do skateboarding still. And like whenever like I have a small injury, I just like put the red light on there, and it's like better than any cream or you can put on there. It's like it has like such a big impact.
Yeah, and it's easy to say. To get a red light. Maybe it's like 20 euro from Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like one thing that's really interesting, which I started taking recently, is rapamycin. And about longevity, it's like the only supplement which is really influential. And it's actually taken by people which have gotten an organ transplant. And it's to turn off the immune system so the transplant won't be rejected. But a side effect is, and they tested it on mice and rats, that it actually lengthens your lifespan, your lifespan about 20% even. So if you say
Which
it's called rapamycin. So like you can just like get it in Germany, like you can get it, for example, in Turkey or so. But like I, for example, would just order it from China. You just really have to take care of like the dosage, and then you have like to have like a microgram scale so you can get
Yeah.
the right amount, because you have to take so little. But like there are other things as well. For example, there's a berberine, which is actually natural, and it totally suppresses the insulin response. So, and like I keto, so I'm low carb. So for me, it's not such a big impact. Still has benefits, other benefits. But for people which just like eat carbs on a regular basis, and especially if they eat short chain carbohydrates like sugars, or let's say like someone
Like
decides
I do.
like most people do.
All the time.
Yeah, but like even if like some people say like, yeah, I just want to eat like a pizza once in a while, a cheat meal, and then you can say like, okay, I'm just like gonna take some berberine powder prior, and then the pizza won't spike my insulin. If it won't spike your insulin, like in that sense, like even like the fat, the cheese, and so on the pizza, like it's like way more difficult to get in your cells, because you don't have like the insulin which like open the like just not to get complex, but it's like a door, and like insulin like push the button, and so the door gets open, and like it's easier for the fat to store in the body. But if the door doesn't get opened, it's like way more difficult.
Just of course.
Yeah. So like there are a lot of things you
Yeah, I'm
can
looking
do. So it's like all super reviewed. So I listen to a lot of material about like on YouTube or like on podcasts, and like stay up to date what's happening. And then I look into the studies as well. And then usually when I find a product that's interesting, I have actually an assistant which is an expert in this field. And then I have my assistant like confirm what I researched and find the right product for me and find the right dosage and so on. And that's how I found the right protocol for me. And then I like okay, I try this. The supplement might not be in my regimen forever. I might take it out at one point, but usually it's this trial and error process. and over time you find like better and better things. Like
Of course,
a
you know
lot.
what's best for your body.
Yeah, exactly. And like sometimes new knowledge comes out, and then you see like, okay, one thing might actually have like slight disadvantages, like ashwagandha. Like this was really big on TikTok, and in a way, it makes you more numb emotionally, but it also gives you a higher testosterone. A higher testosterone is actually beneficial for men and for women, and like men
Yeah.
and women have testosterone, estrogen. So actually, like a too low estrogen for a man wouldn't also be good, because like then the body will bump back and you might get man tits. So just when you get out of balance.
You always have the
Um,
right balance and everything.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, I lost, yeah, with ashwagandha. So like a lot of kids were taking this, and because like they're like
Yeah, I
super
wanted to
anxious
try
from
it.
like all day on social
Yeah.
media and so on, and like they're teenagers, like you way more emotional, like like for example, like years
Isn't it
ago
better
when
to
me
have less
that
emotion? So
yeah,
if you
yeah,
don't
this
have
this this
emotion, it's
this
good.
this is the point. So like everyone says like, oh, okay, it's actually really good, but in a sense it makes you numb. But even if you stop taking it, like the state
You
might
stay
stick
numb
for
for
you,
it.
and might stick for you with like a really long time actually.
Oh, wow. Krass. Yeah, I want to try it, but as I'm not the most emotional person anyways, maybe I should not do. But
And what's really interesting, like one thing to add, what was really beneficial to me was all kinds of healing mushrooms, and like the lion's mane, reishi, and so
yeah,
on.
that's what I
All
want to
those.
try now. I want to try now mushrooms. I was
So
already checking like the sites where I want to order it.
so with them you can't go too wrong. But even there, like one mushroom, which is the lion's mane mushroom, and it's the same like kind of with ashwagandha, but not like that much detrimental. But if you take it, you have to take it in certain periods, and you should like stop taking it in certain periods, because in a way, let's say like you have like and it makes your mind a little bit obsessive when you take it. So and
Is an obsession also good? The
yeah,
life
like it
try.
can be actually really good. Like when you're working and you get shit done, you really care about it. But then when you're not working, and you actually don't have too much to do, and you don't have too much to care about, you like find like your mind will find stupid things to go about all around in a circle. So that's also not the best way. So this is like really like what you find out through like trial and
Yeah.
error, and like you really have to know what you're taking. It's like when you add one thing, like you really should like think about, okay, like this is the effects it should have, and this is also the side effects it can have, and you really feel into yourself how it's working on your body, because essentially it will change your whole brain state. But all in all, in my experience, it makes you like a way more desirable person for you and for others to be around.
Yeah, but interesting that you say, because they always say like if you see on TikTok and stuff that like these mushrooms have no side effects, and now you say that they can have actually big side effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like I would say like or like mental drugs. So, but interesting. I will read more on it. But I think we need to finish for today, because like I have a little stressy day because like a big event is planned soon. So,
No,
but
no
let's soon
stress, no
hopefully again.
stress. Sure, we can do part two at one point, or might connect.
You check out the new Ray of
I might consider that actually. Like I said it before, and I wouldn't say it if I wouldn't consider it, because like I will be in Germany and Europe over the summer in till the autumn. So might be actually an idea. A buddy of mine invited me to Zult, now Zurich.
Yeah, we
I
have the
can
north and the south to
I can
visit.
check out all the fancy people.
Definitely. So
Like
thank you. Looking forward what you make to our
but like
interview.
Zil's like kind of the same. It's like the prices are so high. Like when you have like a comparison of like Germany, what are the living prices and expenses or so, they take it out of every evaluation, because like this just one location would like totally mess up the average, because it's like so damn
I didn't know. You know,
yeah.
I spent a lot of my youth in Zurich. Like my grandparents, I used to spend like every year, like when I was a child, 3 weeks at least. But it's also super beautiful if you haven't been there. And the expensive part is just one small village, like this. The other parts are just easy.
But what did you say earlier?
But what? Like
You just
that
said
is just
something and I was speaking.
No, I think you used to,
Yeah,
huh? I
like you
don't hear
said
what you
something like 1 minute ago, and then I was talking about Zurich.
I said that we need to stop because I need to go to like my
Yeah, I
uh
know, but like after that, doesn't matter.
I don't know. But it comes to your mind, let me know.
It doesn't matter. It's like not for the podcast. I just want to know you. All right, cool. Yeah, so
By mine.
that's cool.